Can you elaborate on why starting with middle managers is important and how you came about? Oh yeah, start with middle managers. That's the key.
Yes. Well, how I came about it is a is a little bit of a longer story because honestly it happened by accident.
Oh, okay.
I was asked to go in to do a middle management training program. And that's, again, the problem with management training today. It's mostly focused on individual. And then they'll do some kind of a case study or some kind of an effort that requires middle managers, let's say, or managers to work together to solve a problem or to make an impact. And I think all that's, again, wonderful, but it doesn't solve the cultural issue.
Okay.
It only gives the example and the demonstration of the power of it. So we were working with a middle management team, and we wanted to give them an example of what it felt like to build a team so they could build their individual teams. We had no concept. Let me just say it really clearly, I was not advanced enough or smart enough to think that, oh, we're going to actually create a middle management team. I was only doing it as a fake activity to give them the sense of it, so that when they did this with their own individual teams separately in the old silo concept, that, you know, they would have the experience. Because it's one thing to have the experience and another thing to say, oh, well, you know, do step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you're kind of left to doing it, but you've never experienced it. I wanted to give people the experience. Well, the group did their picture of success as a team. In those days, it was a vision. Right?
Okay.
More traditional, but they created that vision. And then one of the members of the management team complained. We shouldn't be doing this. We need our senior managers to do this program. Like, they don't seem very aligned. They don't seem to have a clear vision. How come we're not doing it with them first? And it was like, you know, and I'm just going, well, you know, I'm like dancing.
I don't know.
Still not getting this, right? I'm dancing. But luckily, one of the participants, brighter than me in that moment, said, we don't need the senior managers to do this. Why don't we just take it on and do it ourselves? Why don't we become those leaders? And the other members go, yeah, we can do this ourselves. We don't need their permission. Let's just do it ourselves. And then finally I caught on, you know, hey, look, I'm slow, but I'm not completely deaf, you know. So I got on this too, and I said, yeah, let's do it. I can help you to do it. And then I just started to go through the rest of the process of creating the team habits. You know, in those days we called them success factors, but they're really the team habits that I've now grown to understand at a much higher level, you know, and they created that for each other. Well, they created so much cross-functional alignment and unity. They started making changes in the organization, taking the initiative, taking risk, not asking permission, moving the organization forward with more operational excellence that it couldn't be denied. And there was no one to stop them because it was all in service to what's going to make the organization better, not what's going to make each function better.
That's amazing.
They even got to a point, this is really interesting, they even got to a point where they decided it was budgeting time. There's no more competitive time in an organization's year than budgeting because everyone's going out to get the most resources for them.
Okay.
And they decided to do that as a team.
Wow.
And they said, let's look at what the strategy is, and then let's identify what's the critical path to accomplishing that strategy and divvy up the resources according to what's best for the organization, accomplishing the outcomes of the strategy.
Huh.
But they didn't have the safety to do that. No one was going to accept a collective, oh, here's what we think is the budget. And they literally, there was 2 of us facilitating, they asked us to leave the room because they knew that we had a relationship with senior management. And they didn't want to have any chance that we were going to leak this. They had a bond within their own group to come up with that strategy, divvy it up for how it would be proposed by department,
okay,
with an agreement that if anything got changed, they would get together and work it out.
That's amazing.
And it was incredible. And this all happened inside of 6 months.
Wow.
And it was the first time I saw culture change.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, that's a different mindset, it's different behaviors, completely changed the dynamics of how they led the organization, and how their direct reports were now cooperating with each other throughout the whole organization. And it didn't even involve senior management.
Which I'm sure senior management was like, oh, thank goodness. Another thing I don't have to worry about, just let them do their thing.
Well, the biggest complaints that senior managers have of their, directors or, department heads is that they don't take initiative, they don't take risks, they're not moving the organization forward, they don't think strategically enough, they're doing too much micromanagement. But in a sense, they have to, because you don't really understand how the organization works. You only understand how your function works. As soon as you bring middle managers together, you bring together also everybody's intelligence from all the different departments, and you can start to map out how things are going to affect each other, and then you start to learn how the whole business works. And so they make much more intelligent decisions. They have much better recovery plans. They know exactly where the sensitive breakdowns can take place because those people are there representing their area. And I've seen decisions change from let's do a full out implementation to no, let's phase this because right now your area is going through some other challenges. Let's wait a month until your area gets through that and then we'll phase it and we'll just call it various stages of pilots. And it was just so smart to do that. Now, I'm not recommending that you don't include senior management, but what I am suggesting is I have seen culture change without senior management driving the change. And honestly, it took me 3 years to accept this. Because, my belief system was change has to happen top down, especially if it's, if it's a business transformation or a culture transformation. You can't do it without senior management approval.
Sure.
And having them drive it. And I was firmly of that opinion. We saw this take place. I said, okay, we have to treat this as an anomaly. Let's go to the, next organization and see if this works the same way. And we went to a different industry completely, different set of leaders. 6 months, almost the exact same thing happened.
Wow.
And it was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't understand why. Like literally. And for 3 years, I didn't allow anybody on my team to talk about it. I said, because honestly, anyone who knows anything would put us in a white coat straitjacket because this is crazy. Like it goes completely against my belief system.